You got an echo, brother.
Excuse me. I'm using my phone.
Jonah.
Are you on like a?
Is he part of the Jonah brothers?
Is that better?
There we go. So you're a Muslim?
Let's say that I've been studying Islam and I believe it to be the truth.
So you're a Muslim?
I want to
With a
be.
name like Jonah,
Yes.
so that means you've been deceived, brother. But may God open your eyes. What's going on?
Well, you want to talk about salvation in either Christianity or Islam, right? That's the topic.
Yeah. Do you know much about Islam? How much you've studied Islam to be qualified to talk about it?
I've read the Quran in its entirety and I read it daily, and I think
Okay.
that, yeah, I think I have.
Okay. So what does the Quran teach about salvation if you read it daily? How much have you understood it?
Salvation is, from my understanding, totally up to God. In
Exactly.
Christianity, you say that belief in Christ is
Yeah,
what saves you.
don't dodge the issue. You want to run to Christianity. You didn't even explain to us what it means. Totally up to your God. Allah.
Excuse me, Mr. Hogan. You're right.
Yeah. So explain what it means. It's totally up to Allah, because you're going to end up affirming fatalism. This is what I want you to make your point, because I want to see how much you've studied this.
According to my understanding, is everyone on Judgment Day is going to be weighed. Their deeds are going to be weighed, their good deeds and their evil deeds, and that will determine whether you're saved.
You're
Your
incorrect.
acts and your faith and your intent with those acts.
You're incorrect, because you skipped the part that I mentioned. If you're listening, have you even read chapter 24, verse 21 of your Quran? Because you said everyone heard you. You've read it all the way through. You read it daily. That means you're without excuse not to know what 24:21 says of your Quran.
I'm no scholar or imam, sir, but
Okay, let me ask
chapter
you another
24
question.
is the chapter of light, and
Yeah,
21 is,
put it to
I'm
Nur.
not sure exactly what verse that is.
Can I ask you a question? Why
Yes.
is it you come up here to want to then debate, and then when I confront you with a challenge, you go, I'm no scholar. If you're not a scholar, then why are you trying to defend Islam?
Why?
You don't use that excuse. So let's stop the excuse. If you are going to join a call, that means you think you are qualified enough to defend Islam. So don't give that caveat, I'm not a scholar, when your religion gets decimated. Because I'm not a scholar, he's not a scholar. We don't use that as an excuse. But now we're going to show you 24:21 and see that you actually missed the point. Yeah, 24:21. If you want to show it to me.
Yep.
Excuse me. Yes, I'm listening.
He's going to bring it up for you.
All right, it says here in chapter 24, verse 21. It says, O ye who believe, follow not the footsteps of the devil, unto whomsoever follows the footsteps of the devil, lo, he commands the filthiest and wrong, the filthiness and wrong. Had it not been for the grace of Allah and his mercy unto you, not one of you would ever have grown pure.
Okay, define. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Finish the verse. I apologize. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. But Allah causeth whom he wills to grow, and Allah is hearer and knower.
Okay. Explain to me, in the context of the Quran, what does it mean, had it not been for the grace of Allah and his mercy unto you, not one of you would ever have grown pure, but Allah causeth whom he will to grow. Do you understand what that means?
Yes, it means that God alone is the one who decides who enters heaven, who becomes pure.
Good. And how does he do that? Because you just affirmed Islamic predestination, which you didn't want to mention in the beginning. So how does he do that? How does he decide? What's the basis?
The basis is the basis of his decision would be the soundness of the heart when somebody somebody stands before God on Judgment Day.
No, you're wrong. No. It's based on predestination, qadr, taqdeer. Do you know what qadr and taqdeer are?
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry?
No, you're wrong there. Qadr and taqdeer. Do you know what qadr is?
I do not.
Do you know what taqdeer is?
No, sir.
It's the 6th article of faith according to Sunni Islam. It's the belief of predestination. So you're mistaken again. And I just gave Avery my article.
What?
The Quran and the Sunnah teaches that Allah has already determined beforehand whom he will create to go to paradise and whom he will create to go to hell. This is Sunni Islam. So you're mistaken. Now, if you have the article, you can open it so he doesn't think I'm exaggerating. So either you don't know this or you knew this. So did you know this? Did you know this is what Islam teaches or no? You go to
You're
24.
saying there's no such thing as predestination.
You want to bet? It's right in front of your eyes. It's according to the Quran and Sunnah. Why are you dare to speak? Do you know the Arabic language?
I've only memorized the shortest chapters of the Quran, and I recite them every once in a
Okay,
while.
so how dare you say there is no such thing as predestination when the terms are used?
That's not
in
what,
the Quran.
sir. That's not what I said. I said, I had said that. Excuse me, I'm a little nervous. It's the first time actually discussing things. I don't want to be. It's not about right or wrong for me. It's about. Let me, if I could finish. Like, I believe that God reveals Himself to each individual differently, depending on the purity of their heart. You know, like I don't believe that I chose Islam. I believe God chose Islam for me.
But that's
As though
predestination.
he chose Christianity for you and your friend, GodLogic. Like,
Yeah.
you know, based on his wisdom and knowledge that only he knows about
Okay.
you, who you
So
are,
you
and
knew
what
this,
you
right?
want out of life.
But wait, so you knew this? It's because you just admit you knew about Islamic predestination. Because notice what you just said. I want everyone to hear this. I'm glad they're hearing this. You just admit Allah decides when I become Christian, you become Muslim, right? Right?
Repeat
You just
that.
admit that. I know you're busy at work. Maybe you want to come, but you just admit to everyone, Allah decides I become Christian, you become Muslim.
Hold on, Jonah, are you available for this, or should we wait till you're not busy?
Yeah, he's not listening.
Yeah. No, I really want to discuss this with you guys. I just got to get a couple of things. I'm listening.
Okay, so did you hear what my question was? I don't know what to do, brother. This guy's
Yeah, Jonah, it looks like you're probably at work. Try to hit us up when you're done. All right.
yeah, call us
Okay.
back. Continue this
All right. Sorry,
conversation.
guys.
That's
All
right. Now, as you bring up, before you bring up next, I want everyone to understand. He actually understood Qadr and Taqdir. He admitted it. So let me explain before you bring the next person. Sunni Islam, the Shia Islam were influenced by the Mutazilites. So they're more free willers, right? So that's why I say, like in Islam, like Christianity. In Christianity, you have your Calvinists. In Islam, you have your Sunni Muslims. And then you have, like in Christianity, you have those who believe in free will, whether Arminians, Provisionists, open theists, Catholics, Orthodox. You have that in Islam. Sunni Islam teaches fatalism, and I've documented this. You have the article.
Yep.
I'll go through the Quranic references and hadith. The sixth article of faith. Sunni Muslims, you know this. There are 6 articles. You have to believe in the divine decree, good and evil, all of it. That's the 6 articles in Islam, not 5. There's 6. The 6th article of faith is you must affirm Qadr, Taqdir, divine decree, good and evil, meaning you must believe Allah already preordained, predestined all the good and evil, everything taking place in creation. This is in Sunni Islam. Shia Islam is different. So I want the Muslims to come up here, if they're Sunni Muslims, to at least admit this is what their teaching is. That's the first part of salvation. According to Islam 24:21, and the context of the Quran and the sound traditions attributed to Muhammad, the mercy of Allah cashes out to this. Let me make the point quickly. Allah decides before creation, I'm going to create Avery for Jannah, or I'm going to create Avery for hell. So then he creates Avery. Then Allah will work in Avery's life to end up doing the things that he's predestined for. In other words, if he's predestined for paradise, Allah will then move him to do the deeds, meriting paradise. So when he stands before Allah, Allah will then reward him with paradise. But it was all predestined. On the other hand, if Allah determined that Avery would be a denizen of hell, Allah will then work in Avery's life in such a way that he ends up doing the deeds worthy of hell, so that when Allah judges him, he will then condemn him for those actions, making him worthy of hellfire, even though Allah predestined him to do it. It's predestined. In fact, it's in my article. Well, anyway, you want to bring up a caller before we go to the article? I'll tell you what.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so next we're going to bring up Sim. Sim, come on up. How are you?
No, that's not based on his knowledge of you. Stop it, Yusuf Asim. I got the ahadith. Don't lie to me, man. It's right here in front of my eyes.
Don't lie to us, man. We got it right up. Sim. Sim Vestgens. Going once. Going twice. All right. Sim's not here. Let's see. Eskev. Ramon.
Hey, assalamu alaikum, guys. How are you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
All right, good.
Eskev, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
You're told in your sunnah you are not to greet the kuffar first by saying salam alaikum. So why did you do that?
Where does it say that?
You want me to show you? Okay, I'm glad you said that. Okay, hold on. Let me get it for you. Where is it? And if I show you, are you going to ask Allah to forgive you?
No, I'll just reject it.
Okay, good. Let me get it from. Hold on, brother. So now, as I bring up,
I believe you when you say it does exist. It might be in Sahih Bukhari or
yeah,
maybe in a Shia source as a Sahih hadith. It might even be Sahih, but I'll just reject it.
Okay, well, I'll get it for you. Hold on. But now, I get the hadith for you. Go ahead. I'm going to find it for you because I got to get it for you. Well, we're talking about salvation Islam. Did you hear what I said about what I call it? About salvation in Islam? Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, so how do we define salvation?
Going to paradise.
Okay, so just briefly repeat, just for my sake, I might have not caught all of it. When you say going to paradise, as in what is my view on going to paradise based on the Quran?
How does one get there? Do you get there by, is it your actions and your deeds that get you there? Is it the mercy of Allah alone that gets you there? Do you know for sure? Like, do you have assurance of this?
Got it. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
So basically, it's your belief that you have, it's your actions that you do, and with, of course, the mercy of Allah, because He's all forgiving and merciful. So a combination of those will essentially help you get into heaven or hell.
Repeat that part again.
What you did.
Repeat what? How do you get them? By the way, I sent you the link where I quote Al-Adab al-Mufrad al-Bukhari as well as Ibn Kathir, is Tafsir on 929. But we'll show you where you're not supposed to greet us first. But wait, how did you define salvation?
So based on the belief that you have around God, it also depends on your deeds that you've done throughout this life, whether they be good or bad. Yeah. And also it's dependent on, obviously, the mercy of God, because He's most merciful. So a combination of those factors and perhaps some others, but I think they're perhaps the main ones.
Okay. So now let's go back to the necessary foundation. By the way, if you do command that, put the word narrow.
All right.
And I'll take you right there, narrow. That's okay. Coming back to the issue. Can you explain to me what qadr is? Now, Yusuf, stop acting brave in the comment section, buddy. You say I'm in my mommy's kitchen. Do you confuse my kitchen with your mother's kitchen? Take it easy, buddy.
Yeah, Yusuf, you'll be up soon. We'll
Take it easy. Don't manifest. Okay, what is qadr takdir? If you do command that, put narrow.
All right.
No, I've not heard of these 10 before.
Okay, well, let me explain. You're Sunni, I'm assuming?
No.
What are you?
I don't follow a school of thought because the Quran makes it clear that we shouldn't divide into sects. So I don't identify as a particular sect myself.
But just
to play it fair, I used to be Shia, but then after reading the Quran, I then no longer identify as a Shia per se, because the Quran says not to, if that makes sense.
Okay. Well, I'm glad. See, I just told you that Sunni Muslims believe in qadr takdir. You would have a different understanding. But coming to the issue, even though you don't identify as Shia, do you still believe Ali should have been the first caliph?
Whether it was Hazrat Ali or Hazrat Abu Bakr,
You don't care?
It doesn't matter. You know, it could have been any. It doesn't really matter because
Well, it
the
matters.
Quran.
Let me tell you why it matters. Because the exegesis of the Quran, if I give you Ibn Kathir, and if I give you Al-Bukhari, and Muslim, then you're going to be Shia on me and say, well, I don't accept these. So this is why it matters.
No. Sorry. Let me just clarify what I meant by that. The Quran doesn't dictate who was the next successor after the Prophet Muhammad, right? It doesn't make it clear. So as far as I'm concerned, who it was, it doesn't matter to me because it's not on the test.
You sure you want to use that argument?
Sorry?
You sure you want to use that argument? Because the Quran doesn't even tell you the context of the Quran. Can you show me in the Quran where the Quran says how many surahs Allah has made as part of the Quran and how many ayat each surah has? Does the Quran mention that?
Does the Quran mention how many surahs and ayat it's got?
Yeah, because when you read the Quran, you have 114 surahs, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, where does the Quran say that Allah revealed 114 surahs? By the way, Trinity disbeliever, he's one of those trolls that manifests. He blasphemes and he cusses people out, so be careful of him. Okay. So just my question to you is, where does the Quran tell you what the Quran is? Because you said the Quran doesn't mention the successor of Muhammad, but the Quran doesn't even mention Muhammad's wife by name or his mother or what year Muhammad was born. Where does the Quran say the year that Muhammad was born or where he began his prophethood?
The Quran doesn't dictate those terms. No, it doesn't.
That's my point. So you got to go outside the Quran to answer these questions. But if I go to Bukhari and Muslim, you may say, well, I don't accept them, so you're going to be Shia on me again. So if I quote Bukhari and Muslim, you're going to accept?
No, so this is my thing, right? If you're quoting Bukhari and Muslim or Ibn Kathir, like if the Quran doesn't mention those topics, to me, I don't really care what the answer is, right? So I guess what I'm trying to say is, let's assume somebody believes, you know, Hazrat Ali was the Caliph or Abu Bakr or Hazrat Abu Bakr. I'll just be like, well, okay, I don't care. You can see it's not relevant to me because sorry, one second.
Why don't you care? Because you can't tell me how Islam was spread or compiled if you don't go outside the Quran. So who compiled the Quran and codified 114 surahs?
Okay, so we're not asking who compiled the Quran, and that's the question, right?
Yes, we are asking because you're telling me what the Quran says, but that begs the question. That assumes you know what the Quran is. How do you know what the Quran is?
The Quran is the word of God, right?
How do you know what the Quran is? I didn't ask you that you believe the Quran is the word of God. You picked up a book. Someone gave you an Arabic Quran, says this is the Quran. But I want to know, how do you know that is the Quran that Allah sent out to Muhammad? And when did he send it out to Muhammad? Can you answer this from the Quran?
From the Quran, no.
Okay, so this is, again, let's get back to the first point. So now you need to go outside of the Quran to then make sense of what these ayat mean, unless you're a scholar. Are you an alim?
No, that's where I disagree. Wait, that's where I disagree. The Quran is a guide for all of mankind, right?
You sure?
So, let me just finish, right? The Quran is a book for all of mankind. So, it was revealed 1400 years ago.
How do you know? How do you know?
Again,
you just beg the question. How do you know it's 1400 years ago?
Because we have clear, essentially, hadith from the Prophet.
Thank you. Ding, 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 ding. See, you just came back to the point I was trying to get you to admit 10 minutes ago. The hadith told you, right?
Okay, yeah. So the so the hadith. So there's hadith. So there's hadith from our companions who memorized the Quran.
Whose companions?
Hazrat Abu Bakr, Umar, Usman.
So you do go with the Sunni hadith. That's all I wanted to know. That's it.
Okay. Yes. So yeah. Okay. I see where you're coming from now. So just to clarify the position is all right. There are certain hadith I have to take from the companions. For example, how we pray, right? The Quran doesn't say how we pray. So I have to pray a certain way, right? That will only come from the hadith. So yeah, I am relying on the hadith, how to pray, but I don't need to be relying on the hadith in terms of who the next successor is, because it's not, this next successor isn't even mentioned in the Quran, so it's not important, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we're going to the Khilafah, but that's another issue. But yes, no, you need that to tell you who then expanded Islam.
Yes.
And how was Islam spread? So, but let's come back. That's all I wanted you to come to.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, we agree, yeah.
Okay, so now we finally came to the point, folks, because when I then quote ayat of the Quran and I quote, let's say, a hadith, he's on board with me. That was it. Okay, so now, according to the Quran, you cannot believe unless Allah predestined for you. So I cannot be a Muslim unless Allah predestined this for me. That's in the Quran, and then the ahadith solidifies that point. So are you aware of this?
So what's the ayah from the Quran you're using?
Yes, open up the article, brother. Open up the article if you can.
Which one? The one that you sent me?
Predestination. Yes, predestination.
All right, all right.
Okay. If you open up my article on predestination, right there, let's go there. Hold on 1 second. Let me open up my well, I don't think I need to open up mine. You got it, right? Okay.
Yeah, I got it. It's on the screen.
Now, skip the part on Quran and human choice. Go to the part where it's predestination. This is all in the article. He sent you the link. Right there.
Yeah,
Quran, what does it say? Go up real quickly.
But this is, why not just give an ayah from the Quran that supports the claim?
That's
right?
we're going to the paper. Stuck for Allah. That's in the article. Can you be? I'm showing you from the article. Go up a little more, brother.
Go up a little more. Okay.
Yeah, up. You're going down. That's down for me. Up,
this is it's down for you.
421. Okay, let's start with this ayah. It's on the screen. Okay, O believers, follow not the steps of Satan. For whosoever follows the steps of Satan, assuredly he bids to indecency and dishonor. But for Allah's bounty to you and His mercy, none of you would have been pure ever. But Allah purifies whom He will, and Allah's all hearing, all knowing. So here in this ayah, Allah has to choose and decide to purify anyone, and He decides whom He will purify. So what does that mean?
So I interpret that as, but for Allah's bounty to you and His mercy, not one of us would have ever been pure, ever. But Allah purifies whom He wills. Okay, so when I read that, what I would conclude is guidance comes essentially from Allah, right? So if your heart is sealed and you're not looking for the truth, you'll never find the truth. But if you are actively looking for the truth, God will guide you to the truth.
That's not what the Quran says, by the way. The Quran doesn't
That's
say...
not what this ayah says, or the Quran? This ayah or the...
No, because you gave me your interpretation, and your interpretation is correct. That's why I wanted to know how you interpret it. You interpret it incorrectly. And I'm going to show you from other ayat. The Quran doesn't say that if you open up your heart, Allah guides you. No, it says Allah guides whom He wills and misguides whom He wills. Yeah. And you cannot will to believe if it's not from Allah. Okay. That's, the Quran teaches the exact opposite.
So if, for example, we were to take perhaps the literal sense where, you know, God is saying, right, he guides who He wants and He misguides who He wants. Same like in Surah Fatiha, right, when we say guide us and don't guide us. What we're basically saying is God has already created man with the intention of sending them to heaven or hell beforehand, right?
So say it again. God has what? Go down to chapter 10, verse 99. You're going to see it. Keep going down, brother. So Allah has done what?
So if you were to interpret that literally, then someone will say, well, in that case, somebody created you or me, knowing this person is going to go hell or heaven. In that case, what's the point creating him? Because God knows what's going to happen anyway, right?
No, that's not the argument. The argument is that Allah has already created people to send to hell and created people for paradise.
Yeah, so ultimately, yeah, of course, that's why we've been created. We will eventually go to heaven or paradise. That's
no,
fine.
That's not what I'm saying. That's what you think I said. No, I didn't say that. I'm going to say it again.
Okay.
According to the Quran, Allah has already chosen to create people to bring into paradise out of His own free will, and created people to destroy in hell out of His own free will. It has nothing to do with Allah knowing what you're going to do. And here,
yeah,
now read for me.
So I guess what we're saying. So go ahead.
Talk over me because I want you to read the ayat. Read chapter 10, verse 99, 100. It's right there. Diehard Catholic, I hope you burn because of it, if it pisses you off, Cumbria. Read 10, 99, 100.
Okay. And if thy Lord willed, all who are in the earth would have believed together. Wouldst thou, Muhammad, compel men until they are believers?
Now, before you move on, read it carefully, because right there is the answer. If Allah had willed, all mankind would have believed in Islam. So now read it again. I don't want you to just read it without understanding. Reread it again for me.
Yeah, so, and if thy Lord willed, all who are in the earth would have believed together. Right?
Yep.
So just on that sentence there, before I go any further, if Allah willed, everyone would have believed together. Yeah. I mean, if
so
Allah willed,
if Allah wants everyone to be saved, why didn't He will that for us?
He does want us all to go to heaven.
No, that's not what it says. No, read. Don't stop. Read. You're distorting the passage in front of me. It's right there. No, read.
Carry on reading the next ayah, yeah?
Yeah,
No,
keep
the same one. Just finish it. Just same idea.
Then, okay. Wouldst thou, Muhammad, compel men until they are believers? It is not for any soul to believe, save by the permission of Allah.
That just refuted your argument. It just refuted what you just said. You tried to make it say something that it didn't say. It said the opposite of what you said. Allah does not want everyone to believe. It's right there.
It is not for any soul to believe, save by the permission of Allah.
Yep. You got it right there. I mean, it's
not
black
for any
and
soul
white.
to believe. Yeah, I think we're both reading the same thing, but I don't.
If I go to the hadith, it's going to be janaza. I haven't even gone to Muhammad's explanation. I'm just reading the ayat of the Quran. Because when I read Sahih Bukhari, Sahih Muslim, you're going to end up becoming Shia again. You're going to reject them. So that's why I'm saying with the ayat. Did you see what it said? It said, if thy Lord willed, everyone on earth would have believed. But it is not Allah's will, because it then goes on to say to Muhammad, he's rebuking Muhammad. Would you, Muhammad, compel men to believe? It is not for anyone to believe, save by the permission of Allah. You can't make people believe if Allah doesn't permit it. In other words, Allah hasn't willed it for everyone to believe. Now that's just N99 100.
But what we have to realize, right, is that as humans, we've been given free will.
Not according to the Quran.
No, that's what I'm saying, right? We clearly have been given free will.
No,
I mean,
we clearly have not, according to your Quran. You're not Allah, you're not the messenger. I'm telling you, if you're a Muslim, your Quran says no.
No, but the Quran also says, if you look at the other ayahs, we can do good deeds and bad deeds, right?
No, you cannot unless Allah permits it. That's the whole point. If you read the Quran holistically and you read the Quran in context.
No. What we're
Can
saying
you read 76, 29 to 31? Because you're arguing with me and I'm giving. Now notice who's giving ayat of the Quran. The Christian, not the Muslim. Now read 76, 29, 31. Let's see who's right. Read the next one.
You're giving me ayahs from the Quran, right? That's fine, and that's a good thing. But obviously, there are other ayahs in the Quran that say we have
read
given
the next
man.
Passage? If you say there are other ayahs and you're saying they're contradictions in your Quran, and we agree, can you just read 76?
They're not necessarily contradictions per se. Let me
just
finish.
76,
Right?
29, 31.
Listen, I understand it's your platform, right? But I've come on as a respectful guest, right? And I'm trying to have a proper dialogue. So instead of just rushing
to get the sympathy, read some. I'll read it for you because you're too scared of your Quran. Verily, this is an admonition. So whoever wills, these are the ayah you think prove your case. Whoever wills, let him take a path to his Lord. But you cannot will unless Allah will. See, that destroyed all the other passages that you think prove free will. Because let me read it again. Verily, this is an admonition. So whoever will, see, free will, choose. Let him take a path to his Lord. But you cannot will unless Allah wills. Verily, Allah is ever all-knowing, all-wise. He will admit to his mercy whom he wills. But the wrongdoers, for them he has prepared a grievous penalty. This is why I say you can quote 5 million passages, believe and forgive. But when I read it in the context, here it tells you, well, you will not desire to believe and do good if Allah hasn't desired it for you. Let me read it again in case you missed it. Verily, this is an admonition. So whoever wills, see, free will, whoever wills, let him take a path to his Lord. But you cannot will unless Allah wills. So I can't even desire to believe and do good if Allah hasn't chosen that for me. That's why it says Allah will admit to his mercy whom he wills. It's all about Allah.
Yeah.
Now let me read the other passage because you don't want to read your Quran. And then if I go to Hadith, we're going to have a few of that. 81, 28 to 29. 81, 28, 29. To whomsoever among you who wills, there's those passages you're referring to. See, if you will, if you choose, walk straight. And you will not unless it be that Allah wills. Okay, so stop telling me about verses that say, if you so will, and if you believe and do good. Because the Quran says, only those whom Allah has chosen to believe will desire and believe and do good. That's predestination. Do I need to give you more ayat, or this is clear? Deal with these for me.
No, you've given me eyes, but like I said before, I'll make my point that I've come on the show to have a conversation, right? And there will be some back and forth, right? But just give me some time so I can give my 2 pence in, right? I think it's only fair. So yeah,
But
I'm not denying what those ayahs are saying, and I can see why you're interpreting them like that. But what I'm also saying is that there are other ayahs in the Quran that say if you do good deeds, you'll go heaven. Let me finish. Let me finish. If you
I'm
do
not
bad
saying
deeds,
I'm just saying, go ahead.
I know, but you're saying that the good deeds that we do are already predetermined because God's making us do those good deeds, right?
Yes.
And the bad deeds we're doing, they're already predetermined. God's making us do bad deeds, right? So that's what I'm saying, that clearly if I decide to stand up now, you're saying God's making me stand up. I came on this platform because I wanted to.
No,
It's not because
Allah
it was
has
pre-written for me that I was going to do that.
Sam,
No,
Just because
open it
Sam.
up again for him, because
Yeah, I'll open it up, but let me just say this, because it sounds like, Sam, he's basing his interpretation of the Quran with what he is observing in reality.
Yeah.
And he's presupposing that that reality lines up with, or the Quran, and he's trying to force it to fit with reality when it actually doesn't, and that's the problem. You're saying in reality you have free will. In reality, you can stand up and do good or bad as your free will. However, the Quran doesn't line up with reality, dude. That's the problem. That's what makes this false. But I'll open it up again. I just wanted to.
Yeah, well, let's look at the other ayah, because you see, everyone got in the comment section. No, dude, you only came on the platform because Allah willed it for you. So you're still not getting it. Now, in case you want more.
No. So just on that note, right? So God knows I'm going to be coming on the platform.
No, that's not what it says.
Let me finish. So God knows, for example, I was going to come on this platform. However, him knowing that doesn't affect my decision to come onto it, if that makes sense.
That's the argument, brother.
Okay, let me repeat it for the 10th time, which you are evading, like the bubonic plague. That's not what the Quran teaches. Let me repeat it, because now we're going to read the next ayah and the hadith that says you are either ignorant of Islam or you're lying to me, but I'm going to give you the benefit now. You're ignorant of Islam. That's not what the Quran teaches or Muhammad taught. Muhammad taught, the Quran says, that you came on the platform not because Allah knew you did, because he predestined you to come on the platform. So now let me give you more Quranic ayat, which you haven't been doing in your explanation. 91:8. Can you read that for us? 91:8.
By a soul and him who balanced it and breathed into it its wickedness and its piety.
Who breathed the wickedness into your soul?
By a soul and who balanced it and he breathed in. How do we? Oh, it must have been, I think, God, but without the ayahs before and after, I don't want to, I don't want to.
No, you don't need to. The hadith is there. It's going. Muhammad's going to use this to prove predestination. So that next hadith.
No, but that's the thing. I don't want to use the hadith.
See,
because
guys, did he not? Guys, what did I just say?
Yeah.
Guys, didn't he just? You just buried yourself, destroyed your religion. What did I say you're going to do? Avery, you got this recorded, right?
Yeah.
Listen,
What did I
said.
say you're going to do?
Listen, I only listen. There's nothing wrong with using hadith. Hadith is fine.
So let's read this hadith. Get it for me.
Listen, but if you're using hadith from the Prophet where it goes against the clear aql, I can choose to reject it. No, it doesn't have to be. The point of the Quran, right, that is meant to be quite easy and straightforward to understand, and you don't really need a hadith to explain a lot of the ayahs, right? So I'm not against hadith. Hadith work, but
okay. So then read this hadith for me. Read it for me if you're not against it. Sahih Muslim book there, because you're doing a lot of preaching. This is not khutbah Friday, Jama prayer where you do preaching. Okay. Muslims. Read for me.
What's the other guy's name? You said it's Avery, right?
Yeah, that's me.
Well, yeah, I've seen some of your shows before, and I thought they were quite interesting, which is why I thought I'd come on and have a discussion. But I feel like since I've come on, I've just been being buoyed off continuously, and it's just not.
Aren't you the guy that was on some earlier show? Because he put the comment where you were Shia earlier today, but then you changed your sect later. So let's not appeal to sympathy, buddy. You want to read the hadith or no? You want to read the hadith?
Listen, can I just finish making my point before you cut me off? The reason I've come on, because I thought, I've looked at some of your other platforms and they're quite interesting. So I thought I'd come on and have a good discussion. But I don't expect to be disrespected in this manner. It's just not nice.
Okay.
And
Crimea River.
Man.
So for that reason, I'd just rather just get taken off the stage. So I might join you again, Avery, at another point when maybe this guy isn't there.
Salam alaikum. I'll greet you. Salam alaikum, brother.
Yeah, no worries, man. I'm gonna be real with you. This is the most patient that we have seen Sam in a very long
been
time.
trying to be nice
I'm
because it's
proud of
the
you, man. I'm proud. You
I'm
could
trying
do
to be more patient for your sake, but I let him preach. I say, read the hadith. He's scared to read his hadith, but you did what I said. But anyway, I will greet you. Oh, by the way, show him. But he's going to reject this, by the way. It's Ibn Kathir and Bukhari. Guys, did he not do what I said he's going to do?
He did exactly what you said he was going to do, Sam.
Now you got more articles for your.
This is excellent. This is oh my goodness, the gems.
I wrote this in response to Bassam Zadawi about over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
When he was trying to deny that Islam teaches predestination, I said, "What do you think I'm stupid?" And remember, Bassam Zawadi is a Salafi Muslim. Now, you want to see how bad it is, Avery? You want me to read that hadith that you have?
Yeah. Let's read the hadith. Yeah.
Okay, let's read it. Guys, look how bad it is. This is Muhammad's explanation of 91 verse 8. It's on the screen. Right there, Sahih Muslim. Now, sadly, the URL is defunct because this is an old article, but you can still find it on sunnah.com. So let's read it. Abu al-Aswad reported that Imran bin Hussein asked him. Now, watch here. Sunnis, be ready. I'm quoting your hadith. And the guy was crying that I'm brave in my mommy's kitchen. Send me your location. Let's see who's going to be brave. Anyway, Abu al-Aswad reported that Imran, because they're brave beyond the screen when they don't show their face. They're showing our face. We're out there in public. Now, Abu al-Aswad reported that Imran bin Hussein asked him. Now notice, Imran bin Hussein asked him. Okay, asked him. Look at the question. What is your view? What do people do today in the world and strive for? Is it something decreed for them or preordained for them? Predestination. Or will their fate in the after be determined by the fact that their prophets brought them teaching which they did not act upon? Free will. Now notice what he's asking.
Yeah.
Hey, Abu Aswad, father of the black. I don't know if you know that, father of black. Al-Aswad means like, you know, Al-Hajar.
Yeah.
The black stone, this is father black. He goes, hey, father black. I don't know why the hell he's called father black. I don't know. Maybe is he black? Is that what it is? Okay. Hey, father black, what do you say? Is our salvation dependent on Allah predetermining our fate? Or is it based on when the revelation comes to us and whether we act upon it or not? In other words, is it predestination, free will, right?
Yep.
Look at what the father black said. Of course, it is something which is predetermined for them and preordained for them. Now, Imran bin Hussein is now going to ask him the question this guy was asking me. Remember?
Yeah.
About what our Aql says that wouldn't be right. Look, to set him up, to test him. He said, then would it not be an injustice to punish them? That's the Aql, meaning reasoning. Now, look at the reaction of the Muslim. I felt greatly disturbed because of that and said, everything is created by Allah and lies in his power, even him coming on the platform. He would not be questioned as to what he does, but they would be questioned. Now, Imran bin Hussein lets the cat out of the bag. He said to him, may Allah have mercy upon you. I did not mean to ask you, but for testing your intelligence. Because he agrees. Now, look what he's going to say. Now, guys, Imran bin Hussein, look what he's going to say. Imran bin Hussein. Okay, look what he's going to say. Two men of the tribe of Muzayna came to Allah's messenger and said, Allah's messenger, what is your opinion that the people do in the world and strive for? Is it something decreed for them? Now, who's going to answer? Allah's messenger, you Sunnis. So don't come here and tell me it's free will if you're a Sunni. If you're a Quran-only Muslim, we can talk. Something preordained from them, and will their fate in the hereafter be determined by the fact that their prophets brought them teachings which they did not act upon, and thus they became deserving of punishment. Now look, Muhammad's answer, Sunni Muslims. Thereupon he said, of course, it happens as it is decreed by destiny and preordained for them, and this view is confirmed, and he quotes chapter 91, verse 8. This is confirmed by this verse of the book of Allah, the exalted and glorious. Consider the soul and him who made it perfect and breathed into it its sin and its piety.
Wow.
And is this Sahih?
Yep. Sahih Muslim.
And that's one of many hadiths. Oh, we got a lot more. You have
let me give y'all, because I gave y'all the article. Oh, dang, I didn't know.
Yeah, now you can go to what you do is copy and paste just one of the words, and then put it on sunnah.com. Will show up.
Okay, let's
Just copy and paste the section will pop up. Sahih Muslim. Yep, and then it's going to pop up. Sahih Muslim, book 33, number 6406. Yeah, because remember the URL is defunct. This was an old one.
Right.
So there you go.
Yep,
So buddy, I don't want you to preach, man. Just tell me. Right? Just tell me if you agree with this. If not, then you're not a Muslim, or at least not a Sunni Muslim. That's it.
That's it, man.
Why you gotta? I'm quoting your sources accurately. I'm not misquoting.
Here's the actual hadith, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the actual hadith right here. That's good stuff. All right, there's somebody I want to get to though. There's
right, bring him up, brother. What do you want to do? I'm following your lead. We can talk about anything, and we haven't even gotten to Muhammad's.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
So if you want to go to that next, we can do that. Was Muhammad sir?